Okay, Mad World, this is Coach Sess with a Mad Storm. Sending a congratulatory shout out to my man, Monsta Blackshear, on his recent win in the UFC. It was by finish, thank goodness. That reminds me, most importantly, reminds him he has stopping power, not just submission power. So that was a good thing. We saw Monsta come out, touch hands, lead off with some push kicks, short jabs. I like the way he kept his range. Even when Lacerda was coming in, he was using a check hook and angles to knock him off balance. And Lacerda, got pushed up against the cage. Monsta went to the clinch, start working knees to the leg and body. That was good. And it's like Bisping pointed out, it's mixed martial arts. It's good to see Monsta go back to using mixed martial arts skills and not just favoring one skill set. And did a great job in mixing things up. Yeah, Lacerda rolled for that knee bar, but Monsta has rolled with some of the best grapplers in the world over time. And so when you're at that UFC level, none of that is a huge separator. You know what I mean? You don't have that huge separation in skill set. Also because you have other skill sets. That's another conversation for later when we talk about performance. But Monsta did an outstanding job defending and was able to get the stoppage in round 2 ultimately, only because Lacerda did not change his tactics. He kept going back to the same thing over and over and over. And as many of you who train with me, you know who you are in round 1 is not who you are in round 2. So you're not getting any stronger in that fight. And if you continue to give the same tactics over and over and over, your opponent has the ability to catch on to it. And that's exactly what Monsta did. He just inserted his own strategy and pounded Lacerda's head away. So the fight was stopped and Monsta gets his win. So what's next? I'll get asked those questions even though I'm remote from Monsta now. Look, these are some things that are just true for any fighter coming off a big win, a big performance. What's next is let's go back to the beginning. Let's remember how we got here. So Monsta needs to think about his journey from Texas to Philly to North Carolina to now the UFC. Remember how he got here. Remember what it took to be here. You don't have to go back and thank every person that gave you a couch to sleep on or give money to everybody who's fed you. But just remember that journey and have some appreciation and be grateful for those opportunities, because that emotional context is going to help you move into the next atmosphere, where whatever that is, whatever that means. You got to remember your purpose. I remember Monsta always telling me his primary thing about being a mixed martial artist was, hey, I want to match skills with the best fighters in the world, on the planet. Well, stay to that, Monsta. Don't change up. Don't lose that. Don't fall into the trap of, the glory, being a superstar. No, stick with that purpose. Keep riding that, and don't forget that, you already were an amateur champion. You were a professional champion. You were a champion going into the UFC. So championship pedigree, championship quality is what you have. It's what you brought to the table. You don't have to chase anything. You just do what you were doing before. And dude, the opportunity will show up. Remember John Jones? John Jones wasn't asking for a title shot. Things in the natural order just happened to work out that way. So you just keep doing your thing. You'll be okay. And one of the other things is pay attention to the narratives going around the UFC. Don't concern yourself with what's going on in your weight class or the UFC overall or the merger or the politics. Whatever fight that gets put in front of you, that's what you need to really try to consider based on emotional context, who you are as a person, where you are. And what I mean by that is not everybody can be pushed and rushed. I look at Hannah Cifers. I think she got rushed into a lot of fights she really didn't want to do. And she had the same passion as you did, Monsta, with that love for the UFC. I think she just got rushed. Not everybody is meant to be rushed. Some people's emotional context is just totally different. Some people just can't slow down. They hate slowing down. And some people just can't have too much on their plate. So you have to determine what your emotional context is, and that's your next fight. Listen to the coach when I'm telling you that. That's your next fight. And then, after that, it's the small little details that you got to take care of. Keep going to the gym, do what you got to do to prep. Don't become a superstar inside of the gym. Become one of the boys, as a matter of fact. Lower yourself even more so. Help out the new guys. Become more of a student of the game. And, build your team around you, a real support system, a group of people that want to improve and help you improve. And by default, all of you will improve. Don't go around looking for that special group of people to work with when honestly, they're already there. You just got to bring a little bit more out of them. So, and build your not just your management team, but think about people in general in terms of lifestyle, who your friends are, think about your relatives and start planning now for the future, save some money, think about whether or not you're going to have relationships, a family, own a business. You don't have to think about those things in totality, but just, start putting some things away to build that future because fighting's not going to last forever. And outside of that, dude, you just do that. You do that and you're going to be fine. And as a fighter, look, connect with the fans. Connect with the fans. Let them know, remind them of that personality that you had when you were here in North Carolina. Let them know about your dream of matching skills with the best fighters on the planet. They're going to buy into it. I bought into it, and I was your damn coach. So, connect with the fans in that way and, and keep improving your skills. That's why people want to see you fight. It's going to, you just can't keep bringing the same skill sets over and over. After a while, someone will figure you out. You got to keep surprising yourself to surprise others. And day to day, drill smarter to get harder, make it harder, but only from the context of being smart about it. So you don't get a lot of injuries. Because that's the key. If you're not fighting, man, no one's thinking about you. And I'm saying that out there because I know Monsta Blackshear. He can put a lot out into things at times and really overload his body sometimes. So be careful on that. Although I've never seen you take too many serious injuries, as you're getting older, things happen. So anyway, great fight, Damon. Just give me some thoughts to think about. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, my personal notes. I am Coach Sess, and you've had words with the Mad Coach.